All right, we're back. It's been about 5 minutes, little over 5 minutes. I can really feel the complete, like, all of the ingredients are really mixed in well. There's no like crumbly parts in the flour anymore. It's all nice and smooth. The flour mixture itself is still, the dough mixture is really dense. Okay, it's still kind of resistant to push and pull, okay? And that's what you want, but it feels really smooth now. And that's really what you're looking for. You're really enabling all of those little particles of the flour to just get mixed in as much as possible, okay? So kneading it and kneading it and kneading it is so important. And it gives you a good feel for the different consistencies of dough. I really like hand kneading. I always start with my mixer, but I always turn it out and I just kind of, I need to feel it to make sure that the dough is not too dry or too soft, you know, and it just gives you a good feel for what else you may need. You may need a little bit more flour, you may need a little, you know, just a teaspoon of water. You don't know, okay? So this is nice. You can kind of see it. It's kind of dense, okay? So when you stick your thumb in, it doesn't bounce back immediately. It starts to close in a little bit because the gluten is working against the yeast and everything is starting to work good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make this into a ball. And I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna use my regular bowl that I mixed it in, okay? And I'm gonna put a little bit of vegetable oil in the bottom. Just regular vegetable, whatever brand that you use. Go ahead and just drop it in there, okay? And then I'm gonna take the dough and I'm just gonna coat around the sides of your bowl. Just kind of use it as a dish towel, okay? Coat it around the sides and then flip it over. So the grease side is up, it's sitting down in the rest of the reservoir of the vegetable shortening. And then what you're gonna do, or vegetable oil, not vegetable shortening, is you're gonna just take some plastic wrap. Now you can use a damp towel if you want, but I find plastic wrap works so good. It's an instant proofer. Now you guys have seen me do this before, but just put it around the edges. Make sure that you get all the edges nice and tight. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna set this on the back of my stove. My stove isn't on yet, but I'm just gonna kind of set it there and just to rest just for a little bit. And that's gonna probably rise between 45 minutes and an hour. You want it good and doubled in size, okay? So I'm just gonna grab some water and maybe do a little housework while that rises, and then we'll be right back and we'll be able to put them all together and start the second process, so don't go away. Hey everybody, we're back. Thanks for staying with me here. Now this has been rising in my bowl for about an hour, completely doubled in size. I turned it out onto my cutting board here and just kind of punched it down. Now I've let it rest here for about another 10 minutes. So what you want to do is after that has risen, go ahead, punch it down in the bowl, turn it out onto a board or a surface somewhere and just let it set. Okay, so let it set about 10 minutes. So you kind of want it to start rising just a little bit again, okay? So now what we're doing is we're ready to start forming the bagels, okay? So this, like I said, makes about 8 of them, and I use my scale just to make sure that each one is the same weight so it can be the same proportion. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna zero out my scale here with the bowl on top. If you don't have one of these but just have like a digital scale, go ahead and put the bowl on it and zero it out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put my dough in here to weigh it, completely all of it. And let's see, it's about 2 pounds, 4 ounces. All right, perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and split that evenly in 8 pieces. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a little bit of a roll, okay? And then that way, we can have a nice even amount. Now, so you have 40 ounces is what it weighed completely. And so we wanna make 8 of these. So we're gonna make them each 5 ounces a piece, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and try to kind of sort of cut it in half, all right? And then cut it in half again, cut it in half again, and then we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try to make these about 5 ounces a piece. All right, so this is gonna take a little bit of time. There's the first 5. That one is almost 5 right there. Looks can be deceiving, that's for sure. All right, that one's 5 on the button. That one's 5 on the button. Woohoo! I'm getting good now. So you're just gonna go ahead and keep weighing these, and like I said, put them into 8 different components here, and then you'll be ready to go. So I'm gonna keep doing this, and then we'll be right back. Here is number 8 right here. So even 5 ounces across the board. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm just gonna kind of set this off to the side, just to kind of get it out of the way of the camera so you can see what's going on here. All right, so I've got 8 equal parts. And what we're gonna do now is we're gonna start to form the bagel. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start and you're just gonna roll it. Now you're gonna use your palm of your hand for this, okay? So you're just gonna kind of keep rolling it. Now if you've split it in a couple of different places to try to weigh it, you've gotta kind of squeeze it a little bit just to kind of incorporate those, all of those pieces together and just kind of get them back into a ball, okay? So you just kind of use the ball of your hand and then just curl it in with your fingers as you go to make a nice round ball. I formed 6 of them. Now what I'm gonna do is 2 of these bagels, I have decided that I wanna make some cinnamon raisin ones. Now like I said, I'm gonna do all different kinds with these 8 bagels. I'm gonna make a variety because the last batch that I made, I did only 2 plain ones, and then I did all the other ones everything bagels. So I'm only gonna make a few everything bagels this time because I still have some left over. But I'm gonna change it up a little bit and make a few different kinds. So what I've done here is I have taken a tablespoon of cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of raisins, and kind of tossed them together so that the raisins have kind of dried into the cinnamon mixture and just kind of dried them up a little bit. And what I'm gonna do is all of these are gonna stay plain because they're gonna be topped with their flavorings. But I need to work in the cinnamon and the raisins into this dough. So I'm gonna kind of flatten it out a little bit. And then I'm just gonna coat one side and coat the other with the cinnamon. Now you got a few raisins in here, okay? And I'm gonna take a few of the other raisins and just kind of work them into this dough mixture. And then you're gonna we're gonna boil these, okay? So I like them chewy, nice chewy like New York style bagels, right? So I've got a pot on behind me and it's boiling some water, okay? And so I wanna get that to a nice good roaring boil, okay? So I did that, I just barely turned that on just as I was starting to form these balls, just so that they had a chance to kind of get the boil going really well, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and just keep incorporating, and then these raisins, if they fall out, just stick them into the dough. You need to get them into the sticky part of the dough. So the more you handle this part, the heat from your hands will keep this dough kind of activated, and you'll be able to just keep going. So I just tapped it one side, tapped it into the other, and then keep it going. So if you wanted to make some cinnamon raisin bagels, this is the way to do it. All right, so I'm gonna do the other one, and then we're gonna just keep on moving here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna form these and let them set. So there, I've got that one all done, and then I'm gonna just take these raisins and just kind of poke them into the tops. And then you'll be able to add a little bit more to this after we're done, because like I said, we're gonna boil these. I think I'm gonna leave maybe a couple of them off and I'll do them later. All right, so then this one here, you wanna get that out. And like I said, as soon as you push it out, you can feel a little bit of the oil from where it was sitting. And then you can just coat. You don't need a whole lot. And then just roll that right up and get that formed into your bagel. Stick a few raisins in there, mix it into the dough. This smells wonderful. Oh, I can't wait to try these. I love cinnamon and raisins together. You know, the Raisin Bran muffins I've made, and carrot cake with the raisins in it, and oh, just so yummy. All right. Pretty good. I've got the raisins stuck in the middle. I'm going to stick a few in on the top. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and form these bagels. Now, I have a cookie sheet and I have lined it with some parchment paper. And then what I did is I sprayed the parchment paper with a little bit of nonstick cooking spray, okay? Just so that it has a little bit of grease on top of the cooking spray. It's not really necessary, but it just kind of helps to lift it in case the dough gets sticky at all, okay?